I'm sure you've heard the news. Welcome to Explore Vortex. Today we'll be discussing bizarre travel destinations that will shock you. Rocks under the sea that look like hands. No, really, it's a thing. Imagine diving underwater and seeing rocks waving at you. Yep, these hand-shaped rocks are real. Found in the depths of the ocean, these bizarre formations are a natural wonder. Scientists believe these formations were crafted over millions of years through erosion and mineral deposits. Kind of like Mother Nature's way of saying, hey, nice to meet you. But it's not just about the quirky shape. These unique rocks also provide habitats for marine life, adding to the underwater ecosystem's diversity. So next time you're exploring the ocean, keep an eye out for a rock that's ready to give you a sturdy handshake. Curious to dive deeper into the wonders of the ocean? Hit that subscribe button and join us on more underwater adventures. Catch you on the flip side. I've got some crazy stuff to show you. You won't believe the places we're about to explore together. These aren't your typical tourist traps or overhyped destinations. No, we're diving deep into the unknown, the mysterious, and the downright bizarre. We're talking about places so bizarre, so out there, that you'd think they were straight out of a movie. Imagine stepping into a scene from your wildest dreams, or maybe even your strangest nightmares. But trust me on this, these places are 100% real. They're not CGI or special effects. They're the real deal, waiting for adventurous souls like you to discover them. We're talking fiery pits that have been burning for decades, lighting up the night sky with an eerie glow. These natural wonders are both mesmerizing and a little bit terrifying. Underground cities made entirely of bones, where the walls are lined with the remains of thousands. It's like stepping into a macabre museum that tells the stories of the past in the most haunting way possible. And forests where the trees defy all laws of nature, twisting and turning in ways that seem impossible. These are places where you can almost feel the magic in the air. Yeah, you heard that right. These destinations are not for the faint of heart, but for those who crave the extraordinary. This isn't your average travel vlog, people. We're not just showing you pretty beaches and fancy hotels. We're taking you on an adventure that will challenge your perception of reality. This is about to get weird, really weird, but in the best possible way. We're going to places that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the world. So, if you're tired of the same old boring travel destinations, the ones that everyone and their grandma has been to, if you're looking for something truly unique and mind-blowing, something that will give you stories to tell for years to come, then you've come to the right place. This channel is your gateway to the weirdest, wildest, and most wonderful places on Earth. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because you won't want to miss a single second of this wild ride. Trust me, every episode is going to be an adventure in itself, because you're not going to want to miss a single second of this wild ride. Get ready to be amazed, shocked, and utterly fascinated by what we have in store. Get ready to have your mind blown, because what you're about to see is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. Because we're about to dive headfirst into the most bizarre travel destinations on the planet. So buckle up, Buttercup, and let's get this adventure started. All right, first up on our list of crazy places is a little slice of hell on Earth. Okay, maybe not literally, but it's about as close as you can get. In the middle of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, there's this massive crater that's been on fire for over 50 years. I'm talking about the Darvaza gas crater, better known as the Door to Hell. And let me tell you, the name is pretty fitting. This thing is straight up mesmerizing. This giant fiery pit is about 230 feet wide and 66 feet deep. And it just burns day and night, spewing out this eerie orange glow that can be seen for miles. Now, you're probably wondering, how the heck did this thing even happen? Well, the story goes that back in 1971, some Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas when they accidentally hit a massive underground cavern. The ground collapsed, swallowing their drilling rig and leaving behind this giant hole. Fearing that the escaping methane gas would be dangerous, they decided to light it on fire, thinking it would burn off in a few weeks. Little did they know, it would still be burning strong over 5 decades later. The heat from the crater is so intense that you can feel it from a considerable distance away. Standing too close for too long is definitely not recommended. Despite its ominous name and appearance, the Darvaza gas crater has become a popular tourist attraction. Adventurous travelers from all over the world come to witness this fiery phenomenon. Local guides often share the fascinating history and the scientific explanations behind the crater, making it an educational experience as well. At night, the sight is even more spectacular. The contrast between the dark desert sky and the glowing inferno creates a surreal and almost otherworldly scene. The flames dance and flicker, displaying various shades of orange and red, almost as if the earth itself is alive and breathing fire. The isolation of the crater in the vast expanse of the Karakum Desert adds to its mystique. It's a reminder of the raw power and unpredictability of nature. The story of its creation is a testament to human error and the unforeseen consequences of our actions. What was meant to be a temporary solution has turned into a long-lasting spectacle. Today, scientists continue to study the crater, trying to understand more about the natural gas reserves and the environmental impact of this continuous burn. The Darvaza gas crater remains one of the most intriguing and visually striking places on Earth. It's a fiery reminder of the planet's geological activity and the mysteries that lie beneath our feet. So, if you ever find yourself in Turkmenistan, make sure to visit this incredible site. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you won't soon forget. Welcome to hell, sort of. Can you imagine being one of those geologists? You strike a match, toss it into the pit, and boom. This inferno erupts and you think, well, this is awkward. Talk about a miscalculation for the history books. But here's the thing, as accidental as it was, the door to hell has become a major tourist attraction for Turkmenistan. People travel from all over the world just to catch a glimpse of this fiery abyss in person. And I get it. There's something strangely captivating about it, you know? This relentless inferno burning in the middle of nowhere. It makes you think about the power of nature, the impact of human actions, all that existential stuff. Plus, it just looks cool as hell. No pun intended. All right, so we've had a taste of hell. Now let's talk about something a little more underground. A place that is both fascinating and macabre. A hidden world beneath one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And no, I'm not talking about some secret underground club where the elite gather to party away from prying eyes. I'm talking about the Paris catacombs, a place that holds a different kind of secret. Beneath the romantic streets of Paris, the city of love, lies a labyrinth of bones. It's a stark contrast to the bustling cafes and picturesque boulevards above. Yeah, you heard me right. Bones. Millions of them. Bones. Millions of them, stacked in intricate patterns, creating walls and tunnels that stretch for miles. We're talking about the skeletal remains of over 6 million Parisians, stacked neatly in underground tunnels that stretch for miles. It's a hauntingly beautiful sight, a testament to the city's history and its people. It's like something out of a horror movie, except it's very, very real. The air is cool and damp, and the silence is almost deafening. So, why are there millions of skeletons chilling beneath the streets of Paris? You ask? What led to this macabre solution? Well, it all started back in the 18th century. Paris was a growing city, and with growth came problems. Paris was facing a major overcrowding problem in its cemeteries. The dead were literally spilling out of their graves. They were overflowing with bodies, spreading disease, and generally making life unpleasant for everyone. The stench was unbearable, and the risk of disease was high. So, the city decided to do something drastic. They needed a solution that would address the overcrowding and the health risks. They decided to move all the bones from the overcrowded cemeteries into these abandoned underground quarries. It was a monumental task, requiring careful planning and execution. It took them years, but they eventually moved millions of skeletons into this vast underground network, creating the Paris catacombs as we know them today. This underground ossuary is now a macabre yet fascinating tourist attraction, drawing visitors from all over the world who are eager to explore this hidden part of Paris's history. Today, the Paris catacombs are open to the public, offering guided tours that delve into the history and significance of this eerie underground world. It's a place where history, art, and death intersect in the most unexpected ways. So, next time you find yourself wandering the romantic streets of Paris, remember that just beneath your feet lies a world of bones, a silent reminder of the city's past. Now, you might be thinking, Tony, this is all kinds of creepy. Why would anyone want to visit this place? And you know what? You're not wrong. It's definitely got that eerie, unsettling vibe. But that's part of what makes it so fascinating. It's a glimpse into the history of Paris, a reminder of our own mortality, all wrapped up in this macabre package. Plus, it's not every day you get to walk through tunnels lined with millions of human bones. Talk about a conversation starter. And don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom down there. The catacombs have become a bit of an underground art scene, with people creating sculptures and installations using the bones. Of course, you gotta be respectful and all that, but it adds another layer of intrigue to this already bizarre destination. All right, picture this. You're cruising down a canal in Mexico City, sun is shining, birds are chirping, you know, the usual. And then, out of nowhere, you stumble upon an island. But this isn't just any island. This is Isla de las Muñecas, the island of dolls. Yeah, you heard that right, dolls. Hundreds, maybe even thousands, of creepy, decaying dolls, just hanging from every tree, every wall, every surface. It's like something straight out of a horror movie, and trust me, it's even creepier in person. The story goes that this whole thing started with a man named Don Julian Santana Barrera. He lived on the island as a sort of recluse, and one day he found the body of a young girl who had drowned in the canal. Now, Don Julian was a simple man, and he believed that the girl's spirit was haunting the island, so he started hanging up dolls, you know, to appease her spirit. Over the years, it just kind of spiraled out of control. He'd find old dolls, discarded dolls, broken dolls, and he'd hang them up all over the island. Some people say he even traded his own food and belongings for more dolls to add to his collection. The craziest part is, Don Julian himself drowned in the same canal where he found the little girl. Coincidence? Maybe. Creepy? Definitely. Today, the Island of Dolls is a popular tourist destination, believe it or not. People come from all over the world to see this bizarre and unsettling place. But be warned, it's not for the faint of heart. Those dolls, man, they're watching you. Okay, we're leaving Mexico behind and heading over to Poland because things are about to get weird, even weirder than usual. We're talking about a forest where the trees themselves seem to defy the laws of nature. This is the Crooked Forest, and it's home to about 400 pine trees that all have this bizarre, almost 90-degree bend at their base. It's like something out of a Dr. Seuss book, but instead of being whimsical and colorful, it's just kind of eerie. Now, nobody knows for sure what caused these trees to grow this way. Some people think it was a freak weather event, like a heavy snowfall that bent the trees, while they were still young and pliable. Others believe it was human intervention, maybe farmers who manipulated the trees to grow in this shape for some practical purpose, like using the wood for furniture or shipbuilding. But the truth is, nobody knows for sure, and that's part of what makes the Crooked Forest so fascinating. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma, hidden in a forest of, well, crooked trees. Despite all the speculation, the Crooked Forest remains one of Poland's most popular tourist attractions. People come from all walks of life to wander through this strange and beautiful forest, snapping photos and marveling at the wonders of nature. Or maybe, just maybe, the wonders of something else entirely. From the twisted trees of Poland, we're diving headfirst into the crystal-clear waters of Belize. Okay, maybe not literally headfirst, because this next destination is not for the faint of heart. I'm talking about the Great Blue Hole, a giant underwater sinkhole that's as beautiful as it is intimidating. Imagine a giant, perfectly circular hole in the middle of the ocean, almost 1,000 feet across and over 400 feet deep. That's the Great Blue Hole, and it's basically a giant magnet for divers and thrill seekers from all over the world. Now, this isn't your average scuba diving trip. The Great Blue Hole is home to all sorts of marine life, from reef sharks and giant groupers to stalactites and stalagmites that formed during the last ice age. It's like diving into another world, a world untouched by time, where the only sounds are your own breathing and the echoes of the ocean. But diving into the Great Blue Hole isn't just about the thrill, although there's plenty of that to go around. It's also about pushing your limits, about testing your courage, and experiencing something truly awe-inspiring. It's a chance to connect with nature on a primal level, to feel the immense power of the ocean and the fragility of your own existence. So, if you're ever feeling adventurous and you find yourself in Belize, do yourself a favor and take the plunge. Just, maybe bring an extra pair of underwear, just in case. All right, so you've seen those pictures, right? The ones that look like someone took a Photoshop brush and just went wild with the liquefy tool? Well, buckle up, because this next spot is the real deal. We're talking about the Wave, tucked away in the Arizona desert. This sandstone masterpiece looks like it's frozen in mid-swell, like a surfer's dream frozen in time. But here's the thing, this place is so fragile, so susceptible to erosion, that they only let a handful of people visit each day. We're talking lottery system, folks. You gotta earn your stripes to witness this natural wonder. And trust me, the pictures don't even do it justice. It's like walking into a painting, with every swirl and curve begging to be explored. Now, getting to the Wave is an adventure in itself. You're talking about navigating miles of unmarked trails through the desert. No cell service, no signs, just you, the sun, and the hope that you downloaded that offline map. But hey, that's part of the appeal, right? It's like a pilgrimage for the adventurous soul, a test of your navigational skills and your ability to not melt under the desert sun. And when you finally arrive, sweating and probably a little delirious, it hits you. This surreal landscape, this natural phenomenon that makes you question if you've stumbled onto another planet. That's the Wave, my friends. A reminder that Mother Nature is the ultimate artist, and sometimes she likes to keep her masterpieces a little bit hidden. All right, let's switch gears for a second. From the scorching desert to a winter wonderland, where the temperature dips below freezing, and I'm not talking about your freezer after you left the door open. We're heading to Sweden, home of IKEA, meatballs, and An ice hotel? Yup, you heard that right. Every year in the small village of Jukkasjärvi, they build a hotel entirely out of ice and snow. We're talking ice sculptures, ice beds, even ice chandeliers. And before you ask, yes, they give you some seriously heavy-duty sleeping bags. But still, you're basically sleeping in a giant freezer. Now, here's the catch. This icy palace melts away every spring. That's right. It's a temporary masterpiece, gone with the thaw, only to be reborn the following winter. Think about that for a second. The ephemeral nature of it all, the idea that something so intricate, so beautiful, can exist for just a short time. It's kind of poetic, don't you think? But while it lasts, it's an experience like no other. Sipping cocktails from ice glasses, exploring the ice chapel, even catching the northern lights dancing across the sky. It's the kind of adventure that stays with you long after the ice has melted, a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary things are also the most fleeting. All right, guys, let's talk about hands. You know those things attached to your wrists that you use to hold your phone while you're watching this video? Well, imagine a hand so big, so massive, that it dwarfs everything around it. We're not talking about some cheesy horror movie prop here. This is the hand in the desert, a colossal sculpture smack dab in the middle of the Atacama Desert in Chile. Picture this. You're driving through this desolate, otherworldly landscape, nothing but sand and sky for miles. And then, boom, this giant hand just emerges from the earth. It's enough to make you question if you accidentally wandered onto the set of a sci-fi film. So, what's the deal with this massive disembodied hand? Well, it's actually a monument to human vulnerability. Yeah, you heard that right. The artist, Mario Irarrázaval, wanted to capture the fragility of human existence, the feeling of being small and insignificant in the face of something vast and powerful. And let me tell you, standing at the base of this thing, you definitely feel small. It's a humbling experience, a reminder that we're just a tiny part of something much bigger than ourselves. But hey, at least it makes for a killer photo op, right? Hey, Mom, check out this giant hand I found in the desert. You know, casual. All right, we're heading down south, way south, like Antarctica south. I know, penguins, ice, the whole deal. But trust me on this one. This place is called Blood Falls, and it's like something out of a horror movie. Picture this, a massive glacier, white as bone, and then BAM! This stream of what looks like blood just pouring out of it. I'm talking deep crimson red, staining the ice. It's wild. Now, before you freak out about some ancient Antarctic monster, there's actually a scientific explanation for this. Apparently, the water's coming from a lake trapped under the glacier for like 2 million years, and it's full of iron. So, when the iron hits the air, it oxidizes, just like rust, and turns this crazy shade of red. Still, it's pretty freaky to see in person. It's like the glacier's bleeding, you know? Mother Nature's got a sense of humor, I'll give her that. Now, you might be thinking, Casey, Antarctica, that's a hard pass. And yeah, I get it. It's not exactly a walk in the park. It's freezing, it's remote, and good luck getting a decent Wi-Fi signal. But for real, the journey to see Blood Falls is an adventure in itself. Imagine flying over glaciers, trekking across snow-covered landscapes, and maybe even spotting a penguin or two along the way. It's the ultimate bucket list trip. Plus, you can tell everyone you've been to a place where the water bleeds. How cool is that? Just, you know, maybe skip the part about the iron and the oxidation. Let them think it's haunted or something. All right, Moving on to our final destination. We're finishing up this bizarre world tour in Namibia on a stretch of coastline so ominous, they call it the Skeleton Coast. And yeah, it lives up to the name. We're talking miles and miles of desolate beaches, pounded by rough waves, with shipwrecks scattered along the shore, like forgotten toys. Imagine this. You're a sailor, hundreds of years ago, caught in a storm, your ship tossed around like a toy boat. You wash ashore on this barren land, sun beating down, no sign of civilization. That was the reality for so many ships that dared to sail this coast. The Skeleton Coast is a graveyard of ships, their skeletal remains picked clean by the wind and the sand. It's a haunting reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human life. But it's not just ships that give this place its eerie vibe. Remember those whale bones I mentioned? Yeah, they're everywhere. Giant skeletons, bleached white by the sun, lying half buried in the sand. The whales migrate through here, and sometimes they get stranded on the shallow beaches. It's a sad sight, but it's also a testament to the circle of life, you know? The desert reclaiming what the ocean loses. The Skeleton Coast is a place of contradictions. It's beautiful, in a stark, desolate kind of way. It's peaceful, yet it whispers tales of danger and despair. It's a place that will stay with you long after you've left its sandy shores. All right, guys, that's a wrap on this wild ride around the world. We've seen some crazy stuff, right? From burning gates to blood-red waterfalls, from a forest of crooked trees to a coast littered with shipwrecks. It's enough to make you want to pack your bags and book a flight, or maybe just stay home and appreciate the normalcy of your own backyard. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let me know in the comments which of these bizarre destinations you'd be brave enough to visit. Until next time, keep exploring. Peace.